Hello and welcome to Still Got Legs, a Doctor Who Rewatch podcast brought to you by Another Happy Studios. This week we're dealing with ghosts, spirits, and the Welsh. Welcome to the Unquiet Dead. Lawrence.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello. Is it Unquiet Dead or Unquiet Dead?
Unquiet.
Unquiet.
Yeah, because they're not quite dead.
But isn't it spelt like quiet?
Oh, maybe I got it wrong. I'm not changing it.
No, but I figured even if you got it wrong, I'll address it, and then we don't have to do any more work, so that's perfect.
Is it Unquiet Dead?
I'm almost certain it is Unquiet, yeah.
Because they're not quiet?
I guess, but they both mean the same thing, right? Because they're not quiet dead, because they're ghosts, and they're like, ooh, we're ghosts.
Yeah, but they're also not quite dead, because...
They are dead, but they're being
Yeah,
reanimated?
Yeah. But I don't, there's not really a thing about them making noise, though, is there?
No, I don't think so.
I guess.
But you don't have to be. I was about to say you don't have to be. I don't know what we're saying. There's no point debating this. It doesn't matter.
A quite and quiet spelled the same way.
Quiet is quiet. Quiet, I thought was Quite.
Yeah. How's the episode spelled? Because we could easily just solve this problem by
We could do. Yeah, that's true.
looking at the title of the episode.
You Google it. I'll fill space by saying
I'll put it
wow.
up on BBC iPlayer, a service which I definitely pay for with my TV release.
Come on, we all pay for our TV licenses, Nathan.
Yeah. It's the Unquiet Dead.
So I was right.
So you know. Oh, wait. Yeah.
Well, look, we're not correcting
we
it.
go.
It's in the title. It takes Nathan a while sometimes to get them bang on with the theme, so respect his hard work.
Yeah. Look, I've been watching Doctor Who for 17 years now, however long it's been, and I just learned that today. So there we go. There's always room to learn and grow and change as a person.
Is that the message of the podcast? There's always more we can tell you about it. For example, we can tell you the wrong title and then realise and then tell you we got it right. Something you probably already knew.
You can spend almost 20 years presuming one thing about a mostly forgotten episode, and then, what do you know, brand new information.
Do you think this is mostly forgotten? Is that your...
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Look, not to blow my proverbial load early, but bit boring.
I don't know. I think there's some stuff in this. I think
There's some crumbs.
There's some crumbs. There's some interesting
crumbs to glean. There's some little tidbits to pick up on here and there. But for the most part, this hello everyone. Welcome to Doctor Who. Welcome to Still Got Legs, a Doctor Who Rewatch podcast brought to you by Another Happy Studios, which I guess I already said in the intro. Yeah. But we're talking about Doctor Who because we love it and we're watching through the show each week and having a little talk and reliving the show, whatever, I guess. And this week we're doing the Unquiet Dead. Look, this...
Well, technically, Nathan, I'd say we're doing the Unquiet Dead.
I'm not going to change. This, for me, I'm stuck in my ways, okay?
Okay.
This, for me, it falls into a category which doesn't exist, but I have in my head. A category of Doctor Who where almost every season... It's usually around about the second or the third episode. They've already hooked you in with the big, exciting season opener, and now they're like, oh, we can put the little boring one here. And it's usually a story set in the past, and it's usually just a bit dull. It's more just like, well, we don't need our best team on this one, all right? No offense to anyone involved, but look, that's just,
That's Mark Gatiss, this. Mark Gatiss?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, fair enough. I see that speaks to your point as opposed to debunks it.
Yeah.
That's fair. I feel like that's a nature of the format in general, right? Because you've got to either go present day, future, or past. And I feel like with the past, there's less room for exploration. You're kind of grounded in what was there. And
yes. And by default, it's just a little bit boring as well.
And
like,
Charles Dickens.
Well, yeah, it is. Don't get me wrong. The past can be exciting, but like... It's nowhere near as exciting as the future. Yeah. So it's automatically out of the two. Which one would you choose?
Oh yeah, because with the past you're locked in to the stuff that we know and familiar concepts. Whereas you can really push the boat out and explore some brand new stuff. But I guess maybe is one of the reasons this doesn't so much land for you is because past episodes can be good if you've got a great monster, and this is kind of just ghosts.
Yeah,
there's ghosts.
That's true. That's very true. There's really nothing to it. Really, it's just a bit of meandering around, and then there's a bit of a moment at the end.
There's a bit of a moment. So this is the first time we see the Doctor taking Rose back in time. Rose is helping fly the TARDIS.
She is, yeah. The TARDIS console that's held together with T-string and I don't know what T-string is, but just string and tape and anything else.
And good intentions.
Good intentions. She is pulling those dials. She is moving those switches that are not connected to anything.
Yep.
They're just rattling around in that little cage there.
I'd love to just watch the processes of those scenes being filmed with no music, no fanfare, and a still set with no sound effects. Just actors being like, went to drama school for this, just flipping a light switch on and off, that's doing nothing.
It's great, yeah. I'm sure it's very fun.
They sell it though, they make it work. But did it read to you like the TARDIS is having trouble going back like 100 years into the past, something that should be well within its capability without stress?
No, I see what you mean. I think they just wanted to make it a bit dramatic and exciting because the TARDIS is all over the place in terms of
hold on to the console, Rose. We're going back in time.
in terms of how it's depicted. Actually flying, sometimes the Doctor can do a quick 100-year hop and it's just a simple case of lifting up a lever, holding it there for 3 seconds and putting it back down. Now we're 100 years in the future or whatever. But then other times it's the whole room is shaking, there's explosions coming off the console, they're oh, now we're 5 minutes in the past. Okay, great.
I feel like it's very dependent on how high stress the premise of the episode is. If the Doctor's got to get somewhere quickly, the TARDIS is going to struggle to get there.
And they kind of write it in, I guess, because the TARDIS historically is not the most reliable of ships. It's a bit rickety. It's it never quite goes where he needs it to go or where he wants it to go. So
it always takes him where it needs to go.
Yes, that's the one I was thinking of. Thank you.
Well, look, we don't.
We'll get there. We'll get there in 3 years.
We will. Well, look, it doesn't actually open with the Doctor and Rose. It actually opens with
Gwen. No, it doesn't.
No. I didn't realise she was just called Gwyneth, by the way. They really didn't bother, did they? With the...
Yeah, they did. No. Russell was Russell got the script for this episode. When Russell was writing Torchwood, he got the script for the Unquiet Dead. I'm not changing it. And then pulled up one of Gwyneth's line and just deleted 3 letters.
3 letters of her name. Went, same actress, Bob. Job done. Bob's your uncle.
There we go.
Yeah, and do you have any relatives from Cardiff from 100 years ago? Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Yeah. That's all right then.
Problem solved.
Job done. Nathan, we're in...
Peter Capaldi's in this universe 3 times, but let's not worry about it.
That's true, yeah. He's a guy in Pompeii, the Doctor, and then MP that shoots himself with his children or something.
Yeah, he kills his entire family and then himself.
Cheerful.
So that's great. And he's the Doctor.
Well, let's get back onto cheerier subjects, Nathan, such as 1860 Christmas in Cardiff. We're famously known for being a great time, clearly.
A wonderful time.
They're in a morgue. It seems like the old way of collecting bodies, I'm pretty sure, was just to dump them on the floor and someone will come around with a horse in the morning and take it to the dead people's place.
Throw it out your window, we'll collect it in the morning with the rest of the rubbish.
Bring out your dead, we'll put them in a bin in this house or something. But so it's this old woman. I think she's done well. I think her makeup is well done. She looks like a scary, creepy dead woman. Which is
spooky.
Yeah, which is exactly kind of what she's supposed to be doing. But we're introduced to 2 characters. So Gwyneth, we've already spoken about, and another guy,
Mr. Sneed.
I think it was Mr. Sneed.
Yeah, the funeral director.
Yeah,
bloke.
Some suspicious behaviour by Mr. Sneed in this that's looked over quite quickly.
Not a great bloke.
Yeah, not particularly. But it's sideburn season, Nathan. Everyone has a sideburn.
I believe they're mutton chops, Lawrence.
Oh, I apologise.
Yeah. Hey, it's 1860. The fucking hell, they got a. I don't know. They're all following Lincoln or whatever. Was he the president at the time?
Who knows?
Maybe.
We don't know history. We're not here to talk about the historical
I'm not
accuracy.
Doctor Who. I didn't go to the assassination of JFK and then I was going to say J.K. Rowling, if only. I didn't go to the assassination of JFK and then immediately go to the Titanic. All right, look,
That's how he does it.
I don't know history.
But so the dead are coming back to life, and it's what I quite enjoy about this is the very quaint nature of it. Of they're just like, she's up again. It's very much like this is a regular Tuesday for us.
It is, yeah. This happens quite a lot in this vlog. I like to think of him just like making a tea in the cupboard in the middle of the night, just getting up to make a drink, and then there's just a dead person just walking around the kitchen, just like, oh, for fuck's sake!
Hey, go back to bed.
Was that your attempt at a Welsh accent?
It was.
Great. Amazing stuff. One thing everyone should know is Lawrence is terrible at accents. I've told him many times.
They won't stop me doing it.
No, he simply will not stop doing it.
No, I won't, because
how bad he is.
It's all about the joy I feel from imitating Nathan. I feel like you can't take away one of my storytelling tools like that.
I don't have a Welsh accent.
I didn't say you did. When did I say you had a Welsh accent?
You just said imitating Nathan.
No, imitating nature or people. I didn't say you.
Oh, I thought you said imitating Nathan.
Get your head out of your bum, Nathan. So the Doctor and Rose arrive there. One of the only times that the Doctor has ever given a shit about looking era appropriate, or at least someone looking era appropriate.
I thought that was weird because it's just like it's never brought up again, really. Like he's just walking through the past with like Martha, and he's like, "No, you're good in that leather jacket." That's fine.
your crimson red leather jacket and your flared jeans. You're fine.
Yeah, and that was like 300 years earlier than this as well. He's like, "Nah, don't worry, you're good. You're good. We're all fine. I'm here in this pinstripe brown suit.
Yeah,
I'm fine."
And I love that the purpose of it is like, because you walk around in that, people are gonna go crazy. People will be like, "What the hell is that about?" And then, like, the first few people he meets, he's like, aliens are real, we're time travelers, don't worry about it, just blow their
There's
mind.
There's a ghost flying around this theatre and everything, don't worry, yeah.
But
that girl's wearing a hooded jumper. What?
Outrageous. Something that I found quite nice was, and I thought about it a little bit more, because we spoke about, in Rose, we spoke about how the working class nature of the show is quite endearing, and it's something that was new to the show and not really been done. Listen, everyone, no matter where you're from, in all walks of life, knows someone that loves to talk about their gap year in Bali.
100%.
And what I quite like about this is, obviously, Rose probably wouldn't have the financial capabilities to go travelling. So I love that she's warming to the idea of
gap year.
Yeah, this is Rose's gap year, and she's doing the best hits. She wants to see all the big things she knows about. So she's done the end of the world. Now she's off to see Charles Dickens. I liked it. I think it's a nice... They go to Bali, Rose gets to travel the entirety of the universe, past and present, which is
I mean, I know which one I'd take.
Fuck Bali.
Yeah, fuck Bali. I'll take all the time and space. One thing I did particularly enjoy about this just little opening scene with Rose and the Doctor in the TARDIS as well. Something that's often said about the relationship between Rose and the Doctor is that it kind of turned romantic once David Tennant appeared. And I would disagree with that. I would say there's definitely some romantic tension between the two of them throughout the first season. And I think you can start to see the formation of that in the beginning here. There's definitely a flirty nature between the two of them.
I think I've never seen it as like there's absolutely zero romance between them. It gets, look, no disrespect to Christopher Eccleston, it gets easier to sell once David Tennant's in the mix because he's younger and he's
that's
sexier.
only because he's younger and he's more age appropriate.
Yeah,
but I still think it is there.
No, I agree. I like how I view Nine and Rose is very much like it's like a flirty back and forth where they one up each other. You know, the Doctor's like, look at this fucking crazy thing I can show you because I'm an alien, and she's like, not bothered, mate. And also, I just saved the world for fun of it. And the Doctor's like, oh shit. It's constantly they're proving stuff to each other, which I quite like as a back and forth relationship. But yeah,
I don't necessarily see it the same. I've that opening scene specifically. There was definitely romantic, flirty tension there. For
he
me.
says she looks beautiful, doesn't he, or something along
He
those
does,
lines?
yeah. It's actually quite sweet, yeah.
Oh, God, Nine's laying game, and I remember that because he clocks himself do it, and then he's like, "Oh, for a human, for a gross earthling."
Yeah.
Doctor, you look the same as a human. Sorry, but you do.
You do look like a human.
It's because she
looks like a Time Lord. Yeah,
that's true. Something that I quite enjoy. We're we're going through it. There's not. I would say if you're listening to this episode, there's not a whole bunch of stuff you can pick out from this.
No, Charles Dickens is here.
Yeah.
He's on tour apparently, because I guess that's a thing authors did in the past.
Yeah, they went on tour to read their ramblings.
I think you didn't go to see, I don't know, the 1975 and Taylor Swift at the O2. You went to see fucking Charles Dickens tell you about an old man and some ghosts.
But much like the 1975, Nathan, you can still get carried out and abused on the way home.
I'm sure that's a topical reference to something.
Matt Healy is always... Is it being appropriate?
Who's Matt Healy? Is he in the 1975?
I'm pretty sure he's the lead singer. If not, I'm just remembering the train as Healy's, and I really hope it is Matt Healy.
Look, you could be wrong, you could be right. I'll simply never know.
Fine.
Okay.
Topical references aside,
I gave up on music a good 6 years ago. Well, I gave up on keeping up with music a good 6 years ago.
A life of silence is for Nathan. He has taken the vow.
I like music, and if a song which I happen to listen to catches my attention, I'm like, oh, I like this, I'll listen to it some more. But I'm not out there actively seeking new music.
There's too much of it.
Yeah, it's too much. I've got my playlist.
You can never keep up, yeah. No, I like that, though. The first seeds are sown of their relationship. But Charles Dickens is here, and one of my favourite things, and I guess it is a kind of a staple of past episodes of Doctor Who. I'm pretty sure it happens in the Shakespeare episode, and probably a whole bunch more set in the past, when something quite clearly alien happens.
Yes.
And every middle-aged man in the episode is like, it's a trick of the light. It's science and trickery and maths. And I'm like, it's so obviously not, dude.
It's usually an older man, typically someone who is quite intelligent. He'll be someone who's well regarded. He's, for whatever reason, he's a smarter than average bloke or whatever, and he'll be like, I refuse to accept that this is something that could happen in this Queen's land here.
I know everything that there is to know. Do you not know who I am?
This defies the logic of everything I know.
This preposterous, Doctor. You speak with such a tone of future. Who are you?
But am I loved in the future, Doctor?
Yeah, tell me. I don't believe any of this hogwash, but tell me with your knowledge. What can you tell me that I like?
It's true. And then they're not very quickly, they'll hold on to that belief for quite a while.
Yeah.
But they are given some undeniable evidence that this shit's going on.
It's real.
It's real. There's a big blue woman screaming in the audience.
Yeah.
And then she turns into a ghost.
She does, and just flies about.
Yeah.
Something that I do like about because that is a cliche and it is a trope of the whole, like, no, this bloody hogwash boy, and it's not me, I wouldn't know about it. Is that the Doctor kind of comforts Dickens. Dickens is an indisputable mind, right? He's very clever, and he was great at what he did. And I like the idea that the Doctor comforts people that have a kind of a crisis of self in those moments, because you would question everything you ever known. If I was sit here recording this episode and a ghost came in, it would make me reevaluate some shit. I'd be like, maybe I'm not 100% clued up on things I thought I was.
If a ghost came in right now, I definitely have a few questions.
Yeah.
I'd definitely be like, what's going on?
Not me, I'd be like, look, it's Jackie's dad or something.
If a big, vague, grey spirit, just a grey blob showed up, a big, vague, grey blob who didn't talk and just walked around a little bit, I'd be like, oh, that's my dad, I reckon.
Also, he's indistinguishable from the millions of other grey blobs that are walking about. But that's everyone else.
My dad.
That's everyone else's dad.
He's here for like 30 seconds every Tuesday or whatever.
Yeah.
That's my dad.
You're going to miss it, Rose. Anyway, we're getting way ahead of ourselves.
We'll get there.
But I like that the Doctor's like, you haven't got it wrong, there's just more to learn. Like, and it's
that's nice. I liked that line.
Yeah.
That's a bit of fun, I guess. Not a bit of fun, but it's just one of those moments of Doctor Who, which I don't know, kind of it's that Doctor Who magic. There's always just that pops up now and then. It's just the kind of wholesome nature of making you find the wonder in things. And Doctor Who's always good at giving little moments like that a bit of time to shine.
Yeah. And I think it's great for the Ninth Doctor as well, because typically we know him to be so abrasive and quick, and like humans are stunted apes that don't know what they're talking about. And I just like the moment that the Doctor he lets it down for a minute, and he's like, no, that's not the way of looking at it. It's this. Anyway, shut up and stop being stupid and get out of my face. I quite enjoy that. I like that the Doctor geeks out over Charles Dickens.
He's a big fan.
Yeah. I've read Christmas Carol fucking trillions of times or some shit.
I could not tell you a single book Charles Dickens has written other than A Christmas Carol.
If we are to assume that someone has asked me what books has Charles Dickens written, and someone else has said A Christmas Carol, I'd be shit up. I'd be clueless.
Let's all go around the room and list our favourite Charles Dickens novel. You better hope you're going first.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, tugging on my collar.
It's like that drinking game. Name fucking football teams or something. I'll go, once the country's run out, I guess I'm stuffed. I guess I'm screwed.
Once Millwall and United are gone,
and I'm absolutely up shit creek.
We love football.
So listen, almost a perfect segue, because I was going to say, Nathan, the other thing we love is
oh, come on. No, you got to do it now. Let's get Lawrence cancelled.
No.
Come on.
Sorry, let me rephrase it. Sorry. Another thing that Nathan loves
no.
is chloroforming women outside the theatre. No, don't say true. Very brushed over that a line, it's meant as a bit of 2005. Haha. In today's day and age, Rose, I think, should be a bit more unhappy that Mr. Sneed or whatever, Mr. Snood or whatever the fuck his name is, was going in for an inappropriate touch as well.
So let's just be very clear about something for a second. Rose was sexually assaulted during this episode.
Yeah.
Rose was drugged and then sexually assaulted whilst she was unconscious.
Yeah.
And they're like, ha!
And,
all right.
And don't think I didn't notice it. No other people in the room have a reaction. Oh, that's just Mr. Sneed or whatever. He does that.
Good old Mr. Sneed. Well, it is 1869. They probably do that like every 2 seconds or whatever.
Also speaks to the lack of imagination of men that's still the method. Like,
yeah. I guess.
I mean, look, I'm not encouraging active new methods to be discussed and discovered, but
I don't think like chloroform or whatever actually works that way, though, does it?
No, because it's the movie and TV ex machina of it's pass out juice.
Yeah, do you know when I learned that, like, you know, like when in a movie or TV show when someone's like punched and knocked out or whatever, and then they're like out for like 3 hours and then they'll wake up somewhere new.
Yeah.
When I learned that is complete bullshit, my whole world was turned upside down. Because, like, when you've
lost your get out of jail free card. Now what are you going to do when someone asks you to name the second Charles Dickens novel?
No, knock myself out. Yeah, I don't know if you've ever passed out. You may know this, but if you are knocked out or pass out, you're probably out for about 5 to 10 seconds at the most, and then you're back up. If you're out for any longer than like 30 seconds to a minute, you will have permanent brain damage.
Yeah.
And you
terrifying, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Whenever anyone's knocked out, they're up almost instantaneously. And when I learned that, I was just like, almost every movie ever has been ruined permanently for me now, and now it has for all of you. So you're welcome.
Yeah, you spread it along, just so ruin everyone else's time.
Now you can ruin all of your friends' lives.
Good.
So
carry it forward. That's what you must do. Yeah. But anyway, so they all get in a room, and after Ghost Woman goes off at Charles Dickens' show, and they all get in a room, and This is where the episode slows down for me.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I probably was on Twitter for a bit of this, but
good. That's what you want for the critical rewatch podcast that we do. Where I think the episode framework works that we pick out specific things that people haven't noticed.
No, I picked out some stuff, but go on.
Well, it's just for me.
But what did you pick out?
Oh no.
Yeah,
I've got the second Charles Dickens novel ready to go. If that's anything. No, I think this is where it slows down because it's just a case of you get them in the room, and then it's really just the ghosts and the characters. I think this would have benefited greatly from using like the outside set that kind of looks quite historically accurate. Just give it some life. Just stop putting it in the basement of a manor house.
Yeah, once they get to the morgue, it is all kind of just, or the funeral home, I guess, is just, it kind of just like, well, this is it now for the rest of the episode. Yeah, good job. Yeah. It's all just kind of like, it is slowed down massively, and it's all a bit, like I said, it's just a bit dull, really. Yeah. It's just a lot of meandering and talking and some ethical conundrums to discuss and this sort of stuff, but there's nothing really hugely engaging, I guess. I did enjoy the scene, which comes up quite early on in the funeral home between Gwyneth and Rose when they're just having like a little bit of an exchange and just getting to know each other a little bit, and they're like talking about skipping school and that type of stuff.
Yeah, it's quite a nice little thing because you can see how like Rose's present day experience or her 2005 lived experience still can be. You can still get on. You can still have things in common. I do like the moments where she's like, "Yeah, I was looking at that guy's bum down the chippy or something," and Gwyneth is like, "Oh God, like, this woman is promiscuous. Like, how could she?" I did enjoy it.
She's like, I tell you what, that butcher's lad.
Yeah.
Fuck me.
He comes here to give us the post sometimes, or the butcher's lad gives us the post.
You can bring it. I can bring his sausage meat fucking anytime around here.
Steady on. If Mr. Sneed lets her out or whatever. I don't get the relationship there. Is she his maid or like assistant?
Well, she's I guess. Well, she's some sort of employee.
Yeah, because she's dressed paid. Like kind of like a maid.
Yeah. She gets paid. She has a wage.
She gets 8 bob a year, Nathan.
Mate, fucking gleaming, mate.
Not too bad. Yeah, I like that she has like very quaint 2005 eagle vision, where she's on the carriage and Sneed's like, by the way, if it's not Sneed, I'm just going to keep calling him Sneed. I don't remember his name.
It's Sneed.
Okay.
Don't worry.
And Sneed's like, use the sight, girl, and then she just does a bit of acting, and is like, oh, she's here.
She just vaguely looks off in the distance.
Yeah,
and then she's like, someone's cold and walking.
And they introduced that the reasoning behind that is she grew up on the Rift. She grew up over the Rift. So with that logic, Doctor Who, anyone that works in Cardiff above Torchwood,
Cardiff is the capital city of Wales.
Yeah,
like I know Wales itself is not a big country. Okay, population of 3 million.
Yeah,
Cardiff is quite a big city. There's a lot of people living in Cardiff. I would argue in 1869, there's still a lot of people living in Cardiff over an active rift. And this is the only woman, apparently, who was given these psychic powers?
Well, I don't know if it's like Gelf specific or if there's like other things that can pass through that we can hear. But we are given a look at the Gelf as a race that has been impacted by the Time War, which I thought was interesting.
Yes, so this was probably the most interesting element of the episode for me. Not necessarily that the Gelf are impacted by the Time War, but more how that relates to the Doctor.
Yeah.
And how it's the Doctor's guilt that drives him throughout this episode.
Yeah.
Well, throughout like the last half of the episode. And he's like, because of what he's did, he's obviously feeling a tremendous amount of guilt, and that's kind of driving him to make a bit of a bad decision.
Yeah.
Really.
Oh, they completely play on his good nature.
Yeah.
And I like that it's almost like his guard is down, and Rose is speaking a lot of sense, being like, this is stupid. Like,
she is speaking sense, but at the same time, the Doctor is also speaking sense, though. Like, is it really that much different from organ donation? Really?
no, and again, I like the reframing of the kind of bringing it to the modern context.
Yeah.
But yeah, I see both sides of the argument. I just think that for anyone to say this is out of character for the Doctor, it's very perfect for his character.
Yeah, especially at this time as well.
Yeah.
At this point in the Doctor's life, it's really probably the best time to do it, really, because he's the most vulnerable at this point. It's definitely the time where you could probably get the most out of it.
And I quite enjoy that. Like, either way, there's blood on his hands.
Yeah,
you know, he makes one call. Gwyneth will die. He makes another call. Technically, the last of a species could die. And obviously that's fine when they're monster of the week, but they're not presented like that
no,
in this.
Not at first, anyway.
Yeah, it's absolutely fine when the Doctor's like, you know, with the plastic, he's like, in Rose, he's like, I've got to give him a choice, and the plastic's like, no, we're gonna eat people, and the Doctor's like, fuck you all then, I guess. Yeah, you're all dead.
That's it.
No, I thought it was interesting that the Doctor got duped, because it's not often that the Doctor is tricked or people get one up on him.
Yeah, I do like that. And again, I do like that it was his guilt that led him towards that, specifically guilt because of the Time War.
Yeah.
That was all good stuff. Where the episode kind of loses, well, it's probably lost me before this, but so what I don't necessarily like about the episode is it's just not well written, because, and I hate saying that because that's just a shit critique. But it's just the whole like, oh, please help us. Nah, I'm evil. Actually, we don't. I'm not that helpless. I was just tricking you, and now I'm evil, and now I'm gonna kill everyone. And it was just, there was no real reason for it. It
felt like if they just kind of carried on and did pass through or whatever, they'd be fine.
They could have just gotten away with it, but now they're like, now I must show that I'm evil.
Yeah.
And it was just,
was there like an in-world reason for it, or was it just evil?
I don't believe so. No, because they were getting what they wanted. They were having control over it, but then, oh, now my blue's turned red, and because I'm evil now, and I'm evil. So
no. Is it still the case in Doctor Who that blue is forward in time and red is backwards in time in the vortex?
Ooh, I don't know. There's definitely been themes of blue and red before, not necessarily in the time vortex, but I remember this being a thing in Matt Smith's run, because especially season 5, because he had he wore 2 variations of bow ties, braces, and shirts.
Oh, right.
He had like a blue bow tie and a red bow tie and braces and shirt as well. And there was something like that. Or maybe that just changed week to week. I don't know. But
we'll see. Going forward, we'll see.
Yeah. We'll track the blue and red.
We will.
One thing we're also tracking as well is, we mentioned it last week, the Monks of Balhoun gave us the first mention of Bad Wolf in a blink and you'll miss it conversation. Pretty hard to miss this week's Bad Wolf mention. Did you happen to pick up on it, Lawrence?
It was so incredibly subtle, obviously, because it is interrupted mid-conversation, and she does have a mini panic attack over it. No, I love that. Tell you the truth, there's moments in this that I think hammer home the creepy element really, really well. And I think of this episode, it's one of the saving graces that Eve Miles is just a fantastic performer anyway. But she sells.
Maybe we'll see her again soon.
Yeah, who knows?
We don't.
No, we don't.
We actually don't.
No.
That sounds like we do. We don't.
We don't. Yeah, Eve Miles is not our mate. No, I think she sells the fear really well, and the confusion of looking into Rose's mind. She is going to see a familiar town and place and familiar settings, but completely transformed, because we've spoken about this just in private conversation. It's terrifying that the world has come so far in such a short amount of time. When you think about when the first flight by the Wright brothers ever happened to now we can fly across fucking countries and then we can go to the moon and shit. It's mental. And I think she sells that fear really well. And the Bad Wolf is just it's always served great when it's just like a character that can kind of see something. And like they do that in like Turn Left and stuff as well. With like the woman that plays Chantho, but is now the future seeing woman or something.
Yeah.
Just a great moment. And yeah, just keep sowing that seed for the finale because it will pay off in a big way.
Sowing that seed. Sometimes it's subtle and sometimes it's subtle and easy to miss. Sometimes it screams directly into the camera. Both can be good.
Yeah.
Both can be good.
Yeah, absolutely. Something that I don't know if this was maybe just they hadn't got the writing of it down yet. And this is not a bad writing thing because I feel like you always have to elaborate on that when you... Bad writing itself isn't a criticism. That's just you being, I didn't like it.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why I was saying, like, I hate that critique because people... a lot of things that I love, people say, oh, it's so badly written. I'm just like, no, you just didn't enjoy it.
No, yeah, it's just not the story for you. You don't appreciate that storytelling. But something in this, I think it definitely... Let's not say badly written, then let's say very out of character for who the Doctor would become and what the show feels like tonally.
All right.
Weird that the Doctor and Rose are like cornered by gas ghosts. And at that moment, the 900-year-old Time Lord... I get Rose.
Yeah.
The 900-year-old Time Lord who's fucking conquered planets, destroyed worlds, and come through thick and thin of almost every conflict he's ever been a part of, is like... Well, let's go down fighting, I guess. No! You use the sonic screwdriver will have a gas setting. It will have something on it, as it always does, to get you out of trouble. I do like that it's knowledge of the past. And just Charles Dickens being a quick thinker on his feet. And running down and being like, I've whacked the fucking gas up. It's about to go shit up in here, boys.
It does seem a little strange that for such an easy solution, it's strange that it didn't come across to the Doctor. That's something you can chalk up to other factors going on in the moment, like fucking panic, whatever. I mean, you'd think the Doctor would learn to manage that sort of stuff since he's in this situation literally every Saturday night at 7 p.m.
This is like his job.
But hey, I don't know. Yeah, I see what you mean. It is a little bit odd. Definitely like just one of those bit of written into a corner moments, and kind of literally in the episode as well. So there's just a bit of tension for no real reason. Yeah, really,
and it works. Whatever, like it does its job, and the Doctor doesn't die. So
yeah,
it'd be weird if like when. To be fair, I got over it once I realised that like I haven't seen the classic series, but like the Doctor was regenerating just from like falling over and shit before.
Yeah, he fell off some scaffolding.
Yeah,
it was like,
oh fuck.
I'm done for.
I better be someone else. So like whatever. It is what it is.
I think. It's kind of implied, or is it maybe the 5th or the 6th Doctor who hit his head on the TARDIS console? I think it's one of those.
I think it's the 5th because I remember he regenerates on the floor in the TARDIS because I'm pretty sure. Who's the 6th actor? Colin Baker.
Colin Baker, yeah.
He didn't come back for it or something, did he?
But no. So that's the other one. That's the 6th into the 7th because Colin Baker didn't come back. So like they just have Sylvester McCoy
in the wig.
In the wig, and like they just don't show his face.
Oh yeah, of course. Colin Baker didn't film his didn't refuse his regeneration scene and then go and do a prosperous series, did he?
Yeah, exactly.
That's fucking stupid.
That'd be odd.
So anyway, they solved the day. With
they did
fire.
There's that moment which I found strange. I get why it happened, but there is that moment where the Doctor like sends Charles and Rose out, and he's like, "Don't worry, I won't let her die." Immediately, just leaves her and lets her kill herself. That just seems strange because it wasn't more the fact that he left her; it was the timing of it. It was like, "I won't leave her," and then it's probably about 10 seconds later that he's like, "See you later."
Yeah,
and he's just running.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was just a moment that felt strange. Like it probably just needed a beat longer, I guess.
Going back so long ago as well, in such a like this was such an anticipated fucking throw at the wall and see what sticks series. So it's very likely that like scenes were cut and that we don't know about stuff.
Series 1 is kind of all over the place in that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
There's some... I feel like there's some highs, but there's some lows as well.
Yeah.
And, you know, we're going to experience them all, but this for me was unfortunately our first real taste at a bit of the lows. But,
yeah,
you know...
There'll be more. It's certainly not the last, but
there's bangers to come.
Yeah.
There's bangers to come.
To end the episode, I'll ask, and then before we've got our weirdo of the week obviously to do, but the last thing I'll say on the episode, unless you've got anything else you want to add.
Yeah.
You do?
Oh no, please.
Okay, you got me run out of things to say. Yeah, the one thing that I just thought was a bit unusual for the kids watching at home was more triumphant win under the Doctor's belt. Off he goes in the TARDIS, ready for more adventures. And Rose is like, hang on a minute, what if he goes and writes about all this stuff? And the Doctor's like, nah, he's dead in a week, fuck him.
Yeah.
It just felt a bit like...
at that moment I was reminded of Vincent and the Doctor, but how that exact same thing was done so much better.
Yeah.
And how the drama and the emotion of it just really hit you in Vincent and the Doctor. But in this episode, and you know, the show had been on for like 5-6 years at that point and it has grown and evolved. But unfortunately at this stage it was just, you know, he's gonna die.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
I told him he had a good time and his legacy was cemented.
Yes.
But he'll be dead in a week, so it's almost like who's he gonna fucking tell?
Yeah. He'll never get to tell his stories. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Let's.
But that's a bad thing.
Yeah,
we want him to tell his stories.
Let's move on and never think about Charlie Boy ever again.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. Look, for me, it's just as I said, a bit dull, a bit forgettable. Some fun moments throughout, a little bit of Doctor Who magic, but nothing that makes me necessarily want to this isn't one I ever want to just I'm gonna watch the Unquiet Dead, which you could probably tell by the fact that for the last 20 years or so I haven't even called it by its right name.
Yeah.
So
there are episodes of this show that I will just suddenly sometimes watch with my lunch or something.
Yeah.
But this is not going to be one of them.
No, but that's okay. They don't all have to be 10 out of 10 bangers.
Yep.
But hey, there we go. Anyway, Lawrence, it is time for... I don't have the theme song. Weirdo of the week. So, what we like to do as we go along and watch this wonderful and weird and wacky little show is we like to celebrate all the weird and wonderful characters that we come across. Well, not all of them, but we'll pick out a few individuals, the highlights of the episode, if you will.
We will.
Which weird and grubby little character are you picking for your weirdo of the week?
So it's a tough one this week because there's not particularly a plethora of extras. There's no real...
I'll be honest, I don't even know mine is yet, so we'll see how this goes.
Well, this is like what you said about being you better hope you're first. I'm going to pick possibly the only contender for weirdo of the week this week.
All right.
And that is Mr. Sneed.
Okay.
Because he is a chloroforming and molesting man. And
look,
that's pretty weird to me.
See, now, I understand your line of logic, okay, and I have been considering Mr. Sneed myself.
Yeah.
But it is for your exact reasoning that you gave that I decided against it, because I was like, I don't want to celebrate that. I don't want him to be the person I'm specifically picking out and celebrating this week. But if you want to do that,
Nathan, the reason you haven't chosen him is because you find that kind of behaviour not weird at all. You think that's very normal stuff to do.
Oh, come on now, Lawrence. Don't try to worm your way out of being cancelled again.
God. Right, God, who is your choice then?
I don't know.
I've been thinking about it for hours and I've been milling my options.
Well, not hours. I didn't watch it hours ago. But look, I've been trying to figure out who. Okay, I've gone back and forth. I was thinking Mr. Sneed. I was also thinking the old lady because I thought it was kind of funny that she was dead and thought, I'll go along to the theatre. That's pretty fun, I guess. Like, I'll go see a show. Yeah. I'm dead, but the Gelf were like, I wonder what's playing tonight. And then they just go off and see Charles Dickens or whatever. Yeah. That was pretty fun. I think my weirdo of the week might be Charles Dickens.
Okay.
Though. Again, playing up the whole and all that sort of thing. That's all very fun.
Yeah.
But specifically, the moment why I think Charles Dickens is my weirdo of the week because there's a moment at the end of the episode where the Doctor and Rose go into the TARDIS. And they, and while they're in there, they have a conversation about like what's going to happen next to Charles Dickens and all that sort of stuff. And then they're getting ready to go, and they turn on their little 2005 monitor screen in 4:3 ratio,
obviously,
and they see Charles Dickens looking wondrously at the TARDIS. That conversation went on for a little while. So for like 3 or 4 minutes, Charles Dickens was just out there in the snow, just like.
Staring at the
this
box.
Just staring at a box, and I don't know. I think that's weird and fun, so I'm gonna pick him.
I can see that because I suppose for a man who's just had his shit rocked with ghosts and everything, but he's kind of he's quite he does the whole no couldn't be. He does that, but once he's on board with the ghosts, he's very matter of fact about it. It's weird that what rocked his shit for a second time was the appearance of a box in the street before it took off.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Pretty fun stuff. So
look, slim pickings this week for Weirdo of the Week.
It is. Next week we're going to be spoiled for choice. But
anything based in 2005 London. We have so much choice for Weirdo of the Week.
I'm very excited for next week's episode. Same. It's going to be a fun one.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot of fun. And you can listen to next week's episode next week on Mondays at 10 a.m., which is when these go out. You can also follow along on Twitter at StillGotLegsPod. Get notified about when these episodes go up. Join in fun conversations, which we may have at some point, I guess. I don't know. We haven't yet, but who knows? Most important thing to do, though, as this is a new show, please give us a rating, 5 stars or more. Whatever platform you listen to this wonderful little show on, if you can pull out your phone and give us a review, I would greatly appreciate it. Lawrence would greatly appreciate it, and he's getting married soon, so he could do with the reviews. So
what's that going to do? Is that just a flex for me? She's down the aisle, and I'm like, another review in the can.
Yeah. Otherwise, she'll leave you, Lawrence.
That's true. Yeah.
You need all the reviews you can get for your bride to actually marry you.
To be fair, it is a contractual arrangement based on reviews on my Doctor Who podcast.
Imagine if she leaves you for a man with a better reviewed podcast.
Oh, no. Specifically this niche as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
A better reviewed Doctor Who Rewatch podcast.
God. No.
Yeah.
There's one called Escaping Casterbarus or something that is a Rewatch Doctor Who podcast. So leave my soon-to-be wife alone.
That's I don't even know if that's a real podcast, but if it is, that's our mortal enemy now. That's
we're gonna get him. Yeah.
Escaping Casterbarus, they are our rivals. Okay, so no one go listen to them. No, I'm sure they're great.
Don't tell anyone I said it. It's not bad. It's quite a good listen.
Any final words, Lawrence?
Yes. Goodbye.
All right. Bye. I forgot the theme. It was a bit quiet at first. It doesn't just jump right in. Anyway, bye guys. I'll see you next week.